All right, let's talk about a very exciting feature with Shadow Protect 4.0, and that feature is called VirtualBoot. Just like you saw a few minutes ago with the ability to mount an image, whether it be a full or an incremental, and mount it as a drive letter and drag and drop files right out of that, you also have the ability to just right mouse click an image and tell it to VirtualBoot. So VirtualBoot Wizard, again, everything within Shadow Protect is wizard based. One thing I want to make sure is that you know that you need to at least have a gig of RAM available to do this process. VirtualBoot is nothing more than a set of utilities that allows our point-in-time images to be seen by Sun's VirtualBox. If you're unfamiliar with VirtualBox, you can head out to virtualbox.org, download it. There's technical documents and everything right out on that website. VirtualBox is a open source virtualization solution. And that's why we chose it to work with VirtualBoot, simply because it's readily accessible to anybody at any time when you have an emergency. All right, we'll click next. So this is the Potter server, and on this server, I am only backing up the C drive. If I were backing up D and E and F, whatever drives it had, and they were in this folder, they would automatically be added here, so just keep that in mind. I also have the ability to add images from another machine. Maybe the file store is down, I could add some images from that server here as well. A couple of technical points to make here is your bootable partitions can be up to 2 terabytes in volume size. That doesn't mean that you really have to have 2 terabytes worth of data, but if you have a bootable partition that is up to 2 terabytes, we can boot that. Also, we will support data partitions that are greater than 2 terabytes as well. So I need to tell VirtualBoot which operating system is in this image. It's Windows 2003. Tell it to create the virtual machine in VirtualBox. Automatically start it after creating it. What name would I like to give this virtual machine within VirtualBox's interface? And how much RAM do I want to give this as well? I'm going to go ahead and tell it to take a whole gig. We'll click next and finish. So the first thing that VirtualBoot is going to go out and do is it's going to create, just like when we mounted that image, read write, it's going to create a brand new file and start saving changes to it. So again, we are preserving that point in time. So now it's performing a hardware independent restore into this bootable image. It's going to say you're no longer on that physical machine that you were coming from. Now you're going to be booted up into this virtual machine, and here are the drivers and chipset drivers and everything that you need to know to talk to this virtual machine. So we'll go ahead and let this run here. Okay, so it has finished. It's now creating the virtual machine, and it will boot it up. So this is VirtualBox information telling me that the write control is the host key, the uncapture and capture key. So we're going to tell it OK, and here we go. It is now booting this 2003 within just a minute or two into a VirtualBox virtual machine. While this is booting, let's talk about one more thing. You're going to get your typical Windows plug and play. It's going to want to load device drivers and everything else like that. So keep in mind that this just isn't a one magic button fix all. You may have to tweak some things, but if you can get the machine to boot into the virtual machine, you own it. You can now get it up and running, get it connected to the network, whatever you need to do to get out of that disaster.